In today's video, I want to go over yet another PlayStation 5 title being reportedly leaked. It's probably not the game all of you guys were hoping for. No, it's not a Spider-Man 2. It's not a God of War 2. We're not getting announcements of that yet. However, a Battle Royale title might be making its way onto the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be a free-to-play title, and it's called Knives Out, so we'll talk that. Also, Marco Thrush talks a little bit about Bluepoint Games and its relationship with Sony. I really want to highlight that because Bluepoint Games has been one of the real standout developers this generation. I don't think it's hyperbole at all to say that. We'll highlight that. Also, as far as Destiny 3 goes, Bungie is still focused on Destiny 2, and we'll have to wait a little bit longer before we get a third Destiny title. I'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, PlayStation 5 Knives Out Battle Royale is in development if a LinkedIn page is to be believed, and usually it should be. Knives Out, the free-to-play Battle Royale title from Chinese tech giant NetEase, could be coming to the PlayStation 5 according to information gleaned from one developer's now edited LinkedIn profile. Vincent Chi, NetEase department art director and product manager, had Knives Out listed as a project in full development for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 in his description, but has since updated the information to the Sony PlayStation console. He changed it after the reports were coming out online, so it was probably from him realizing, oh crap, I messed up, and then he edited it out. The game is currently out for smartphones worldwide and Nintendo Switch in Japan, with a PlayStation 4 release planned soon, but if it is to be believed by the LinkedIn page, it's also going to be coming to the PlayStation 5. Knives Out had already been confirmed as in the works for PlayStation 4, but aside from the recently announced Godfall, neither Sony nor any of its third-party or first-party developers have outright promoted PlayStation 5 games yet, so I could understand why from their standpoint they are still hesitant to officially announcing PlayStation 5 games. Godfall was announced, but it was also announced at the Game Awards, where Epic Games had a big focus on. I think they just wanted to roll that game out. I think Sony is going to be holding their own conference in the next few months, where they're going to do the rollout of the major PlayStation 5 games, whatever the case may be. This makes this Knives Out leak all the more interesting, and interestingly enough, Chen's profile makes no mention of the game coming to Microsoft's own upcoming hardware, the Xbox Series X, so who knows, this might end up just being a PlayStation 5 title. And of course, with a PlayStation 4 release and every other platform that it's available on currently as far as mobile is concerned. I'll keep you guys posted on it. Yes, it is another Battle Royale game, but it was received pretty well by mobile players, so hopefully it can make a solid transition over to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. The game does have a 4 out of 5 on the App Store, and you would think that it could make some considerable improvements on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. I don't know how much of an improvement they're looking to make. I don't know what the budget is. I don't know if they want to ground up rework all the visuals. That would probably be asking for a little bit much, as this is just a free-to-play title at the end of the day, and there are going to be other elements of the game that are going to be reliant upon it being an actual success rather than just the visuals. However, if it does end up being on the PlayStation 5 and it does look very similar to the mobile version of the game, I don't know, I feel like that would be a little bit off-putting just because the PlayStation 5 is supposed to be this juggernaut from a technical standpoint. Not to say that Knives Out looks bad by any means. It's actually pretty decent looking for a mobile title, but obviously you would need to revamp it a little bit for a full-on PlayStation 5 release, but we'll keep you guys posted on the development on that. Alright, moving on from that, one relationship between a developer and a company that I want to see persist into the PlayStation 5 days is Bluepoint and Sony, and Bluepoint themselves are saying that they have a great relationship with Sony and will be happy to continue working together. Speaking of segment next, president of Bluepoint Marco Thrush said this, quote, "We are an independent studio. The hardware we develop for us is determined by the publisher who signs us. The Metal Gear Solid HD Collection and Titanfall had Xbox 360 SKUs for this reason. Various Sony studios have been great partners, most recently Japan Studio. We have a great relationship with them, and we will be happy to continue to work with them if they wish to." Bluepoint, which has been teasing its ongoing projects for a while now, currently has a mysterious PlayStation 5 project in the works. While the developer didn't reveal any details, Thrush said that he has no doubt it'll, quote, "become the achievement we're most proud of." There's a lot of rumblings that it could be a full-on Demon's Souls remake. I know that's something that I would be incredibly excited by. Whatever the case may be, whatever Bluepoint Games is working on, if it's a full-on remake for the PlayStation 5, that is so exciting because they did a masterful job with Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus, of course, fundamentally was already a great game, but it had those elements here and there that did hold it back a little bit. With Bluepoint Games at the helm of the remake, they completely removed all the shackles. The game technically looked incredible. Visually, it was stunning, and it performed really well as well, which was a problem with the PlayStation 2 version of the game, with it being way ahead of its time. Bluepoint Games really removed all of those limiters, and if they can do that for any other franchise, man, you could dig up any old franchise that has a little bit of nostalgia, that has a little bit of cachet, and you let Bluepoint Games have the license to that, you let them ground up remake it, and there is some phenomenal stuff that could happen. I don't know what exactly their expectations are and what they want to do in the future. Do they want to create their own unique IPs, or do they want to fill this role that not a lot of other developers and publishers really have? Bluepoint Games is kind of a one-of-a-kind where their most known games are their remasters, are their remakes, and I feel like that is a void that is really being filled by them. And if they continue to deliver high-quality products like a Shadow of the Colossus remake with the Demon Souls remake, hell, I've seen people speculate on a Legend of Dragoon remake by them. That's a game that so many of you probably don't even know about, but if the idea is Bluepoint goes to these partners and are like, okay, you guys have the fundamentals of this game, you guys have the storyboard already there, you guys have the general gameplay elements, let's just rework the game from the ground up, get the visuals on par with what's out there today. It would also mitigate a lot of the production costs when you do fundamentally have these games in place and you're just reworking the game. Obviously, a game like the SOTC remake was still a pretty massive undertaking. A Demon Souls remake would be a big undertaking. That's why Bluepoint isn't spamming out games left and right. They are putting their time into these games, but you would think it's a little bit easier. However, there is a catch-22 when you're working on these marquee IPs. There's also that standard you have to uphold, and with a Shadow of the Colossus remake, yeah, there was that huge standard that they did have to uphold, but they did a fantastic job with it, and I'm excited to see what they can do in the future. I'm excited if Sony and them continue to work together. Hey, if Sony could somehow acquire Bluepoint, that would be a major acquisition by them, and one acquisition that I think every company should be after. Whether you're a Nintendo, you're a Microsoft, you're a Sony, whatever the case may be, an Epic Games, a Google Stadia, I don't care who you are, Bluepoint is one of those developers that you absolutely want under your umbrella because that's how talented they are. So we'll keep you guys posted on all of that, but hopefully we hear what their next game is sooner rather than later. Again, if it is a Demon Souls remake and it's scheduled to be a PlayStation 5 launch title, I think that would be absolutely incredible, and I think that would be a legit system seller for the PS5 launch. And I think Sony is prepping up to have an absolutely can't-miss launch lineup for the PS5, because the PS4 really didn't have that. You had Killzone Shadowfall, but then the secondary exclusive was Knack, Drive Club had been delayed, and Resogun, while it was a good game, that isn't a game that's going to appeal to the mainstream audience. I think with the PlayStation 5, Sony is really prepping up to have two major launch titles, one of those games being a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or whatever Guerrilla Games is working on, and then the other title, I do expect it to be this Bluepoint game, whether it be a Demon Souls remake or whatever the hell they're working on. And lastly, I do want to talk a little bit about Destiny 3. If you're planning on getting it anytime soon, you might want to stifle those expectations because Bungie's communications director is saying that I'll have to wait a little bit longer. Back in October, a report from a reliable source of Destiny leaks suggested that development of Destiny 3 is already underway with Chris Barrett serving as director. While it's not a surprise that the studio might be eyeing a third installment and working on the game right now as we speak, it's still probably very early on in development just because Destiny 2 is still getting a lot of content. And asked when Bungie plans to move on to Destiny 3, communications director David Deij told PC Games and that, quote, "We'll have to wait a little bit longer about the franchise's future. I don't have any good announcements to make about the next bold moves we'll make in the franchise. Right now, our commitment and our attention is to make the seasons that will unfold over the course of the next year interesting and sustain a perennial story arc that will keep players engaged. I understand the question you're asking, and it's certainly an interesting one, and we'll have a lot of cool stuff to say on that later on, but I'm afraid that at the moment we'll have to wait a little bit longer." Now, what exactly is a little bit longer? I don't know. Could Destiny 3 be a game that's primed for a next-gen launch? I do think that's a little bit early. Not like Destiny 2 is that old of a game. However, if memory serves me correctly, Destiny 2 came out in 2017, I believe. So if you want to go back, Destiny 1 was in 2014. That's a 3-year differential. Destiny 3 in 2020, hey, that would be a 3-year window as well, and I think launching Destiny 3 with the next generation consoles wouldn't be a bad idea at all. It would be a marquee title, but ultimately I do think it would be a game that Bungie would want to keep cross-generational. It would be on the PS4, Xbox One, PS5, next Xbox, and then PC as well. How if they could get it on the Nintendo Switch, I bet they would love to get it on the Nintendo Switch as well. Whatever the case may be at this point, it looks like Destiny 3 is still a ways away. Maybe it'll be late 2020, but I would think that it would be a little bit after that even. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, the next PlayStation 5 game may have been leaked. A Knives Out Battle Royale is in development, and it looks to be coming to the PS5. Marco Thrush has spoke a little bit about Bluepoint and Sony's relationship. They've got a PS5 game in development. What could that be? I'm still eyeing a Demon Souls remake, but we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully it is a launch game, but they're happy to continue working together with Sony, and we'll have to wait a little bit longer for Destiny 3 news that's coming directly from Bungie's communications director. So if you're waiting on a Destiny 3, probably not going to be happening anytime in the too near future. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.